hello, hello, hello. How is it going at the other side of the screen? I hope you're doing great. We are doing fantastically well. Thanks for asking. And we're in the middle of the summer here in Spain. Everything's scorching hot. So we keep hanging on here for you to bring you this wonderful show, to bring you this space in which we talk about music, guitars, and everything in between. If you don't know already, this is Guitar Chat, and this is brought to you by Vegatrem, the best tremolo systems in the world. And today I have to make an announcement. We're gonna go on vacation. This is the last show of the season, but don't worry because we're gonna be back in September with new guests, with new adventures, with new giveaways, with new Vegatrem challenges. We're gonna keep doing our thing, and hopefully you're gonna see it at the other side of the screen. If you're not subscribed, now is the time to do so because belonging to the Vegatrem family has its perks, as I always say. For instance, we have this t-shirt giveaway that we're doing in every of our shows, and the only thing you have to do to enter this giveaway is to be subscribed to our YouTube channel, give us a like, and write a comment in any of our shows. Just by doing so, you're gonna be able to win one of these wonderful Vegatrem swag, Vegatrem t-shirts. And now I'm gonna say the name of last show's winner. The winner is Douglas Kaufman from the YouTube channel Serenity Guitars. Congratulations, Douglas. We're gonna get in touch with you and we're gonna send you one of these t-shirts to your place. Right on. Also, if you're looking to make a purchase on our website, we have a discount code that we're gonna be displaying at the bottom part of the screen in any moment of the show. So I would be, if I were you, I would be aware, I would be alert, because this discount code can appear at any time. With that discount code, you can go to our website, and when it's time to check out, you type that code and you're gonna get a 15% discount. Bear in mind that that discount is gonna be available 48 hours after the broadcast of this show. And now it's time to talk about the last Vegatrem challenge of the season. You don't know what it is? You wanna know what that is? Check this out. If you play guitar and wanna be part of the Vegatrem family, listen to this. We are introducing the Vegatrem Challenge. Each month, we will propose a piece of music for you to play. It could be a lick, a phrase, a riff, etc. You will have to learn it and make it your own. You can use it in any way you want. You can change the tempo, you can change the fingering, change the key, change the harmony. We want you to be yourself. Each month we will announce a new Vegatrem challenge. Once you learn it, you can start making your video. Then follow these steps. Number 1, follow us on Instagram. Number 2, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Number 3, tag us on your video. Number 4, use the hashtag Vegatrem Challenge. Among all the participants, we will choose the best one, and the winner will have a brand new VT1 for their guitar. The name of the winner will be revealed on the first edition of each month on our podcast, Guitar Chat. Are you ready? Well, don't miss this and grab your guitar. Okay, so that's the Vegatrem Challenge. You still have till the end of this month, till the end of July to participate. So please send us your videos, send us your jam, and you're gonna have a big chance of winning a VT1 completely free. Okay, and to close this season, we have a very, very special guest, no other than Mr. Bob Lanzetti from the amazing fusion jazz jam band Snarky Puppy. This was a very, very interesting, with a lot of insightful information. So I really, really encourage you to watch this interview. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bob Lanzetti. Bob Lanzetti is a professional guitarist, composer, producer, and educator based in Brooklyn, New York. He has played in over 40 countries with the jazz funk collective Snarky Puppy. Bob has played on every recorded release of the group and won 3 Grammy Awards. Don't miss this interview with Mr. Bob Lanzetti. Well, welcome to a new edition of Guitar Chat. This time with Bob Lanzetti, Mr. Bob Lanzetti from Snarky Puppy. Welcome to Guitar Chat. How are you doing today, Bob?
Good, great. Thanks for having me. Pleasure to do this.
Yeah, man. We've been following you for a while already, and it's a pleasure to have you. I'm a big fan of your band, and I am also a big fan of your own solo music. We're gonna talk about that later.
Yeah. Okay.
But
cool.
yeah, but first of all, I wanted to ask you. Tell me a little bit about your background as a musician. Did you start very, very young when you were a kid? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. I started playing when I was around 12.
Okay.
My dad plays guitar too, so that's what initially got me into it. So yeah, I mean, I was like just into classic rock, My dad had like a Beatles chord book, and so I was super into the Beatles, and was just learning songs out of that basically, And then he would show me things occasionally too, but he tried to push me to like sort of figure things out for myself rather than just him showing me where to put my fingers, basically.
Yeah.
So I think that was a great thing that he did because it helped me develop my ears and stuff. So that was, and then I played with his band when I was like 14 or so. So that was like, a great learning experience for me to be playing with like older musicians. And then, I had a couple of great teachers in New Jersey before college. I studied with a guy, Chris Bono, who I think you know.
Oh yes, I know him. Yeah, he's a good friend of ours.
Okay. We grew up in the same town actually.
Oh, okay.
So I'm friends with like his whole family and everything.
So you're originally from New Jersey. You grew up there, right?
Yeah, Brick, New Jersey.
Okay.
So he was one of my first really great guitar teachers, and kind of showed me how, like, what it entailed to be a professional musician. So it was like a great experience. After that, I was studying a bit with Vic Juris. You familiar with him? He's like a great jazz sort of fusion guitar player. Really great.
Okay.
And then I went to University of North Texas, where I met most of the Snarky Puppy guys too. So that's kind of like the.
Yeah, that's in Denton, right?
Yeah.
Denton, Texas.
It's kind of close to Dallas.
Oh, close to Dallas. Okay, got it.
It's like 30 minutes from Dallas or so.
Got it.
Yeah. So that's kind of like the super short version.
Got it. Why did you choose North Texas for college?
I basically had just heard a lot about it. It was coming recommended by several people, and that was kind of the only reason. I mean, I wanted to go to William Patterson, which was in New Jersey, and I didn't get in. And I applied to a couple other schools too. Some of them I did get in, but I figured everyone was saying you should go to North Texas. I got in there, and everyone was saying it's a great school. So I just kind of said, I'm just going to do it, you know. And it was great. I'm glad I did too, because if I had gone to William Patterson, that means I would have grown up in New Jersey, went to college in New Jersey, and then moved to New York. So it was nice to like get away and kind of get into a different culture a little bit. So I'm glad it all worked out.
Is it very different, like in terms of culture, but also in terms of musical culture, to be in New Jersey as opposed to being in Texas, for instance?
Yeah, I'd say it is. It's a very different kind of scene of musicians, just like in the community. You know, there's a lot of gospel artists who also crossed over into a lot of R&B and a lot of hip hop, and you know, there's just something unique about Southern United States. You know, United States of the South music is just kind of different. You know, coming from a different world. That stuff exists in New Jersey too, and in New York to a certain extent, but I wasn't exposed to it at all. And it seems like in Texas, it seems like, at least in my experience, most people are kind of really entrenched in that scene. So it was very different from that standpoint. And then the school was all, you know, was mostly like kids like me grew up playing rock and roll and started playing jazz. So it was like a nice combination of different worlds.
Nice. Well, I guess starting because I guess you studied jazz guitar on school, right? And you said you came from a maybe classic rock background. Was that the transition something smooth, or did you really have to work a lot to get into that kind of music?
Yeah, I mean, I did have to work a lot. It's like, you know, from my background, my parents didn't listen to jazz at all. You know, I had no exposure to it. So when I first heard it, when I first heard things like Miles Davis or something, like Kind of Blue.
Yeah.
It was so foreign to me. You know, I remember thinking it was really weird. I was like, I heard it and I was like, there's no guitar on this record. I was like, why do people tell me to listen to this if there's not even any guitar on it? I was like, completely didn't get it, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, first of all, I think I'm like a good student. So if a teacher tells me to do something, I just do it. Even if I don't particularly like it, I just do it anyway. So I was just kind of going through the motions, exposing myself to it. Even though I wasn't particularly like blown away by it, but one thing I did like though was some of the fusion stuff. You know,
got it. So you were more into fusion more than classic jazz. Okay.
Yeah, it was just stuff that there was some familiarity to it. You know, things like Mahavishnu Orchestra or Chick Corea. You know, and then I was really into the guitarist Wayne Krantz when I first heard him.
Wayne Krantz.
I was really into Bill Frisell.
Got it.
So, you know, those were kind of the things that I that I first was exposed to that I actually liked. And then
Uh-huh.
things like Charlie Parker and Miles, I had to like learn to like it, but I spent enough time with it. Now that's like some of my favorite stuff.
Of
You know?
course. Yeah. I mean, Miles Davis, I think maybe with, for me, Miles and Coltrane are like the gateway to jazz music. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because some of the stuff that I started liking then, after spending a little time with it, is still some of my favorite stuff now.
Uh-huh.
Miles, Train, Thelonious Monk, Mingus, Charlie Parker. I mean, those are kind of my favorites.
Nice.
So
That's cool. That's cool. So was in that environment where you got in touch with the rest of the Snarky Puppy band, or should
mhm.
I say collective, because you guys are a lot of people, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, in Texas is where most of us met.
Okay.
Um, and me and Mike League, the bass player and band leader,
Uh-huh.
we played together in a bunch of different groups before he started Snarky Puppy.
Okay.
Um, and I played a lot with Mike Maz Maher, the trumpet player. And I played some with Nate Worth, the percussionist. So we were, all in school at the same time, playing in various configurations with all different kinds of bands. So that's kind of how it really kind of started. So when Mike wanted to start a band and wanted to make a record, and I remember just thinking, cool, okay, Mike League wants to make a solo record, so that's cool, that's great. So we did that, and then I didn't expect anything to ever happen after that.
Yeah.
I actually moved to New York right after we recorded the first record, and then like a year went by or something, and then he wanted to make another one, and I was like, oh, this is gonna happen again. So, and then we kind of started touring a little bit, and then after a little while, it kind of started to be clear that this was like really a band, not just his solo record or something.
Got it.
So it really kind of just started as us just being friends and playing together in different groups.
So cool, man. I mean, I really, it really blows my mind, the blend of different styles that you guys do in the band,
Mm.
because I can hear, of course, a little bit of gospel, as you said before, a little bit of funk, of course,
Mm-hmm.
jazz, fusion, even rock, many different things, and everything seems to me very well done, very clever. And
Mm.
of course, since you guys are so many, I guess you guys need to learn how to not play in certain parts, right? Because, for
Yeah,
instance, you guys are three guitar players on the band, right?
yeah, yeah, yes, yeah. It's kind of like I think we all kind of try and think like producers.
Got it. Yes.
So, if we're thinking about if we're playing, like a lot of our records are live. So if we're doing that, we kind of think, how can I add, like if I was doing this as an overdub, what could that overdub be? It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be like a part that continues through the whole song. It might be in one section or something. And there are times when various people will lay out for whole sections.
Yeah.
So that happens a lot, and a lot of times we end up doubling things. We'll either end up doubling things exactly or
Uh-huh.
playing something totally different.
Got it.
Because if you're playing a similar role but not playing exactly the same thing, then it kind of conflicts, and neither part really shines. But
Yeah.
if you play the exact same thing, it just gives it more weight. It's kind of like double tracking. If you were like recording in the studio, it would be like double tracking.
That's
you know?
right. Uh-huh.
So I think we all kind of approach it that way.
Got it.
You know.
Got it. Man, it's very interesting. And also, you guys, like the three guitar players that are there, like Mark Lettieri, Chris McQueen,
Mm-hmm.
and yourself, you guys have three very different styles, from each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that
Yeah.
complements very, very well. I
Mm.
guess if I wonder if there's if it's easy to work with the other two guitar players, or if there's some conflict sometimes in terms of, okay, who takes this part, who takes this solo, who takes this section. You guys get along very well or not? Not
Yeah,
really.
we do. Yeah, there's really never any issues. Really, I mean, we get along really well musically and personally.
Uh-huh.
You know, and I think we kind of we all have our strengths, and we kind of just we sort of just like fall into our parts without them really having to be discussed too much. Sometimes someone will have like a suggestion, like maybe what if you do this or what if you do that, then sometimes that'll happen, but a lot of times it's just through just playing. We'll like someone will bring in a tune and we'll sort of start playing it, and then we'll just sort of gravitate towards what we do.
Got it.
So it's kind of a natural thing that just has, I think, come from knowing each other really well and doing it a lot.
Nice. Do you guys, in terms of arrangements, do you, all of you guys, put something on the table in terms of ideas or things like, hey, I think we should do this melody this way or this other way? Is that something like a community effort?
Yeah, that'll sometimes happen. A lot of times, whoever wrote that particular song will have a lot of those ideas already.
Okay.
And then things will change when we're arranging things together. Or we might just try things, like if someone's playing a certain melody or something, it might be cool for another guitar player to play it with totally different sound. Maybe like a really ambient sound if someone's playing it straighter, or maybe playing it down an octave, something like that. But yeah, so we kind of arrange as a band, though. So a lot of things end up being changed when we rehearse.
Got it. Man, that's pretty cool. Tell me a little bit about playing live, because you guys are like, I mean, I don't want to be in the shoes of your road manager, okay? Because you guys are a lot of people,
Yeah.
and I guess it must be very, very difficult in terms of logistics, but I guess you guys probably have a blast, right? Every time you guys go on the road, right?
Yeah. I mean, it depends. I mean, there's always issues that come up.
Yeah.
But we've done it, I think, long enough now, and our crew is great. So we kind of have it down to a science now, for the most part. But I mean, dealing with airports in particular is really a drag.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes we're in an airport like every day, and there's like 14 people trying to check in at once, and with a lot of bags. It takes forever. But the crew is great, and they make things much smoother than it would be otherwise. And I had another thing I wanted to say. What was your initial question again? Sorry, I think I lost my train of thought.
No, I mean, I was just asking you if you guys have a good time when you're on the road. If besides all the difficulties of being so many people, on the road.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and the other thing I wanted to say was, when we tour, it's only usually 10 band members at a time.
Oh, got it. So
so we're not touring with like 25 musicians.
Got it.
Usually it's just one guitar player, one percussionist, one drummer, usually maybe 3 or 4 horns.
Got it.
So it ends up, and then maybe 2 keyboards. So it ends up being about 10 or so.
Okay.
But,
well,
yeah, it's like, it would be really intense traveling with like the whole thing.
that's what I was thinking. I mean, I was like, wow, that's why I wouldn't want to be your road manager.
Yeah. But it's cool because it makes the live show so much different than the records.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
I mean, on the records, there's like 3 guitars and 3 percussionists, and and on the shows, it's just one of each. So
That's right.
you have a lot more responsibility. There's a lot more improvising.
So,
it's cool.
So you end up having more work, of course, because you have to cover all the other guys' parts as well, right?
Yeah. Or, you know, like, yeah, I mean, certain parts are more important to the composition than others. So
Yeah.
you pick and choose which ones seem to be the most essential, you know. And
Uh-huh.
sometimes you end up, you know, sometimes a guitar might end up playing what was traditionally a horn line or a keyboard thing, you
Oh,
know,
of course.
because they have to do something else. So then the guitar maybe has to cover that, you know. So it ends up being a lot of mix match of parts.
Got
But
it. Got it.
it makes it very fun, really. It's fun to do both. It's fun to have the whole band together, and it's fun to have it a smaller thing.
Of course. I mean, every different instance has its perks, right?
Yeah.
And you get to enjoy all of them because
Yeah.
in different moments you can get different roles, and
Hmm.
that's very interesting. Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun.
I also wanted to ask you about your own music outside Snarky Puppy, because I've been
Hmm.
listening very interesting stuff that you have
Okay.
online. So you have a record from 2017 that's
Uh-huh.
called "Whose Feet Are These That Are Walking,"
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
In that record, I hear. Correct me if I'm wrong, okay? But I hear a little bit of Bill Frisell
Mm.
reminiscence, right?
Yeah. I mean, that he's one of my favorites. Yeah. So that's definitely going to come out in there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I really like the compositions because
Thank you.
seems to me, of course, you're a guitar player and you can tell it's a record by a guitar player,
Hmm.
but seems to me like you're all the time working for the song. You know, you're
Mm.
not like showing off or anything like that. You're
Right.
working for the song. I don't know if that's a deliberate intention of yours.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, you know, I like producing and I like songwriting, and I
Okay.
like and most of my favorite things are just good songs. You know, nowadays, you know,
Uh huh. Yeah.
I don't listen to tons of modern jazz. I don't listen to tons of fusion. I mean, I went through that stuff and I still love some of it,
Yeah.
but it's not something I check out often. So my head is kind of always in more of a songwriting and producing frame anyway.
Got it.
So I think it was just kind of natural to approach it that way. And sometimes some of those songs felt like they didn't really need a guitar solo. So
That's
there
yeah.
isn't one, you know. So
Yeah.
it just depends on the song. I think the song dictates what needs to be there. So you just have to be aware of listening to what that is, you know.
That's right. That's right. I mean, it's very interesting because I was trying to, I was listening to that record and I was trying to uh, categorize it in
Mm.
a in one single style, and I just couldn't. I just
Mm.
couldn't because I could hear some jazz, I could hear some more
Mm-hmm.
roots style
Mm-hmm.
of music or things like that. But in the end, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna enjoy it. I don't care
Well, that's great.
which
I'm glad
style
that
it
it
is.
feels that way.
Yeah, I mean
That's a compliment. Yeah.
that's what I ended up thinking. I was like, I don't really need to give it a style. It's just
Yeah.
music and it's great music, so I'm gonna enjoy it. You
Well,
know,
thanks. I'm glad you like it. And yeah, all those things are a part of me. You know, like rootsy stuff, folky stuff,
that's right.
Americana, jazz, straight ahead jazz, modern jazz, Afrobeat. There's a little bit of
Yeah.
that in there. But yeah, I mean, you know, when I was writing a lot of those songs, I was actually really into a lot of classic country at the time,
Oh, okay.
which is
Got
why
it.
I ended up wanting to have the pedal steel on it.
Yes.
And some of those songs definitely have that flavor, you know. I was really into like Loretta Lynn and Patsy Cline and things like that, just like George Jones, just straight down the
Uh-huh.
middle Nashville country from like the '60s, you know.
Is that also an influence from being in Texas, maybe, or not?
I don't know. Maybe I mean I think it's more about just certain friends that yeah. So I guess essentially yeah through some people that I knew,
Okay.
but I didn't go out and like hear country music when I was in Texas.
Got it. Got it. I understand.
I don't
Yeah.
even. I mean, I don't even know where there was anything like that happening. You know, it was kind
Okay.
of something I got into years later, living in New York, actually.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Just kind of by chance. I mean, I just kind of stumbled upon some records that I really liked. You know, but it might have spoke to my soul because it was reminding me of Texas to some extent.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe.
Well,
Yeah.
tell me, how did you record the acoustic guitars on that record? Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, the electric sound stellar and everything
Hmm.
sounds great. But what really caught my attention was the way the acoustic guitars were sounding. It was very
Hmm.
natural, and I was like wondering, because it sounded, to me, it sounded like not very processed, not very produced, like very natural,
Hmm.
like if I was in the same room with the guitar. So
Hmm.
I don't know if you could tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I don't. We recorded it at this place called New Warsaw in Brooklyn.
Okay.
A guy named Riley McMahon, who owns it, um, kind of co-produced the record and engineered, um, and mixed it actually too.
Okay.
And I think I used a parlor guitar that he had.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, but in terms of like, so I had access to like a really nice acoustic, but it seemed like for those kinds of songs, being something that you would play around a campfire seemed like better.
That's right.
So it was like a little hard to play. It was like, not the best, not like, the most amazing craftsmanship, but it was just like had it with the right sound and the right vibe for those songs. And in
Man.
terms of like miking or anything like that, I'm not even sure. I don't remember what he put on it.
Okay.
But it was his guitar, so he probably had a lot of experience miking it and recording it with it, I guess.
Probably he knew the guitar very well, right?
Yeah, and the room. So
Yeah. I mean, it sounds amazing, man. I really, really like that. Really, really
awesome.
liked it.
Thank you.
And yeah, man. And I also want to ask you, because I was I was listening to everything that I could find from you on Spotify,
Yeah.
and then and then I stumbled upon this record from 2020, two-part Bach,
Oh yeah.
two-part Inventions. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Well, that's crazy. First of all, it's crazy, but I love that stuff, because
Awesome.
especially there's a piece. It's called Invention Number One in
Mhm.
C, and it seems like you recorded that backwards. Tell me,
Yeah.
I mean, explain to me that.
Yeah. So that whole record was really just. It was sort of just like something to do, sort of for fun. Really, it
Okay,
was just an EP, and there's no physical copies. It was just digital.
okay,
Um, but I mean, the reason I wanted to do it was because I love Bach's music,
yeah.
and I remember hearing Wendy Carlos's "Switched on Bach" music. Have you heard that?
No, no, no. I'm not
It's
familiar.
it's like the composer Wendy Carlos made a record of all different Bach pieces, like played on mini moogs.
Oh, okay,
Um, and I remember hearing it, and it's beautiful. I think some of that music is actually in. It might be in A Clockwork Orange, actually. So if you've seen that movie, you might have
okay,
heard some of it.
okay.
But I think that's at least she's if it's not the Bach music from her, it's definitely it might be her own compositions in that movie.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, like that kind of made me feel like this music is written so perfectly that it doesn't even matter what instrument you play it on; it's going to sound good.
That's
So
right.
my intention was really to play the music pretty much unaltered, but altering the sounds a lot. So
Got it.
taking the sonically completely somewhere else, but keeping all the notes exactly as written. You know,
Got it. Got it.
so that was kind of like the reason or the reason I wanted to do it. So the backwards one was kind of like a tip of my hat to Twin Peaks.
Okay.
If
Got it.
the show, and you
Yes,
know how
yes, yes.
they talk backwards in the show.
Yeah.
So I wanted to I kind of wanted to try and do that musically. So I just I got the music and I just literally wrote it out in reverse, and then we played it backwards, and then
Man,
we
that's
just
crazy.
flipped it. So has that weird psychedelic backward sound, but the notes you're hearing in the correct order. You know?
It's just amazing. I encourage everyone to go ahead and hear that, because it's just, it totally blew my mind, man. It totally blew my mind, because I also love Bach music,
Yeah.
and I was like, I was in awe, you know. I was listening to that, and I was like,
Well, yeah, thank you.
yeah,
That's my favorite one too, actually.
really,
That one I really like that one. The way that one came out, it's
yeah.
It was exciting.
It's very, very cool, and I'm pretty sure Johann Sebastian Bach would be proud of you. You know, I'm pretty sure.
I hope so.
Well, I could tell in a couple of moments that you were talking about movies, about TV shows, and you also have a record called Nosferatu, based or inspired on the movie. So I guess
Yeah.
you're very into all movies and things like that.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely enjoy the art form of film. You know, and yeah. So it says on there that the music is inspired by the movie, but it's not quite accurate because it was actually written for the movie. So
Okay.
you can actually uh, stream the actual movie with the soundtrack that I made.
Nice.
So
So
that's
you did
available.
it with that in mind. I mean, so you were. I mean, so the goal of the record is to watch it along with the movie. I mean, to
Well,
hear it along with the movie.
yes, yeah, but the record was made after the film. Like
Oof.
the. So
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, I did. How do I say this? I actually made the soundtrack, along with the film, and then ground up released it as an audio afterwards.
Oh,
You know what I
got
mean?
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
actually made as a soundtrack. Not what I'm saying is you don't put the movie on and then press play on the
Yeah.
audio. It's not like a Dark Side of the Moon.
That's what I was
Whatever that.
thinking about. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
no,
Yes.
it's not like that. It's actually like they're actually connected. So you can stream it, and with that soundtrack on there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that was a project that our record label Ground Up did with Alamo Drafthouse, which is a movie theater in several locations in the U.S.
Yes.
And so different Ground Up artists did different movies. So I did Nosferatu. Chris Bullock did Alita, Queen of Mars, which
Okay.
is like a Russian silent film.
Yes.
Siren Tip.
No, I don't.
She's one of the Ground Up artists. She's a great singer songwriter. She did one for another movie. So there's like 5 of them, I think.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. I know Alamo Draft House. You know, I've been there a couple of times, and it's
a great theater.
It's the greatest theater in the world. Let me tell you
Yeah,
that.
I love it.
Because we don't have that in Spain. We don't have that in Europe. You know, it's only an American thing, and they really love films. They really love cinema, and it's great. I mean, it's wonderful.
They got
that
good
they
drinks and good food.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's very, very cool. You know, because
Yeah.
I lived there for a few years, and I got to enjoy Alamo Draft House. You know. So.
Okay, cool. That's great.
It's awesome, man. Well, Bob, let me tell you. I mean, let me ask you about your next endeavors. Are you going on tour with Snarky Puppy anytime soon?
Yeah, we're actually just within a couple of days. Actually, we're going to South America.
Okay. So and are you guys looking forward to do a lot of gigs over there?
Yeah, we're going to be there for about 2 weeks, I think.
Okay.
And then we'll be home for a bit, and then we go to Europe in July. So it's a busy year.
Cool.
We had the new record come out, so we're doing a lot this year. So.
Any plans on coming to Spain? Maybe when you guys come to Europe?
I don't know where we're going to be. Actually, I haven't even looked at the schedule, but we usually are. So I'm sure we will be.
Man,
are you in Barcelona?
No, I'm close to Madrid. Close to
You're
Madrid.
close to
Yeah.
Madrid. Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah. Yeah.
mean, we'll probably be in Madrid, I would guess.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna miss it. So if I
Yeah.
can, I'll be there. I'll be there for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, but I gotta hook up with you guys when I'm in town. Actually, that'd be good.
Anyway, we have the headquarters. It's in Mallorca, the Balearic Islands. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Not really.
Close to Ibiza. Probably you've heard about Ibiza.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so it's the headquarters is over there. So if you guys ever come there,
Okay.
let me know because I'm gonna,
Okay.
I can take you there. And by the way, how are you? Are you happy with your Vegatrem with your tremolo and your guitar?
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
Awesome.
I've been using that guitar more lately because of the Vegatrem being on it. So
Awesome. Well,
yeah, it sounds great. I mean, and it sounds great and it feels good. And I feel like I can kind of do anything and it stays in tune, which is great.
that's wonderful, man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Bob Lanzetti, for being with us today. Thanks for being part of the Vegatron family, and we're looking forward to seeing you either with Snarky Puppy or with your own material, which is amazing.
Thank
So
you.
I encourage everyone to listen to that. I'm gonna leave the links in the description of this video as well
Okay,
for
great.
everyone to listen to all the stuff we've been talking about. I'm very very excited about that. So yeah.
And let me just promote one thing if you don't mind as
Of course. Yeah.
I have a new band with Zach Brock and Keita Ogawa, who are
Okay.
both Snarky Puppy members also. We have a new trio that has a record coming out on Ground Up in November.
Awesome.
And it's original music by all three of us. And it's an interesting band because it's there's no bass. It's guitar, violin, and percussion.
Oh wow.
So,
Okay.
So it's been a lot of fun. We've been doing a couple tours, and we're going to do some more stuff after the record comes out. And I'm playing mostly acoustic guitar in that band, actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's
How
only
interesting.
a couple electric tunes, really.
Okay. Okay.
So it's kind of like more of an acoustic thing.
Nice. Well, we're also looking forward to listening to that. Are you gonna publish that on your social media outlets on your website as well when you have it ready?
Yeah, for sure. We'll have our own website as well. We actually have our own Instagram page now,
Okay.
which you can link to that from my Instagram page.
We're gonna do that as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
and there's a lot of other links on my Instagram page to that band's page.
Okay.
So things
Awesome.
like that. So
Well, we're gonna leave all the links to all your creative outlets,
all right,
for
awesome.
everyone to enjoy it, of course.
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you, Bob, for being here, man. And of course, you have Vegatrem doors always open for you. So
All right.
whenever you need us, let us know, okay?
All right, will do. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, this has been Guitar Chat. So till next time, be safe, be happy, and play a lot your guitar. See you next one. Bye-bye.